such an asshole.
All right, how you kids doing? Recovering, Cappy, from being sick 24 hours ago. Happy New Year, Cappy. I would like a video response to clear your test on Monroe, Dunaway Anderson, aka MD Anderson. Wikipedia, I recommend. Just a side note, it's worth mentioning the classic thriller Soylent Green, starring Charlton Heston, is set in the year 2022. Oh, I'm sure 2022 is going to be better than 2021. I'm sure it'll be just all great. All right, so let's pull up Monroe Dunaway. I have no idea who this guy is. I'm going to find out. Okay. Monroe Dunaway Anderson, 1873-1939, was a banker and cotton trader from Jackson, Tennessee. With William L. Clayton, Anderson built Anderson, Clayton and Company, formed in 1904 by his brother Frankie Anderson and Frank's brother-in-law William L. Clayton, into the world's biggest cotton company in the event of one of their deaths. The partnership would lose a large amount of money to estate taxes and might be forced to dissolve. In order to avoid this, Anderson created the M.D. Anderson Foundation with an initial sum of $300,000. In 1939, after the Andersons' death, the foundation received an additional $19 million. In 1941, the Texas legislature appropriated $5 million to build a cancer hospital research center. The M.D. Anderson Foundation agreed to match the state funds if the hospital were located in Houston at the State Medical Center, another project of the Anderson Foundation named after Anderson. Using surplus World War II Army barracks, the hospital operated for 10 years from the converted residence and 46 beds leased in a Houston hospital before moving to its current location in 1954. The center would later become one of the leading cancer research and treatment institutions of the world. All right, so I thought you led me to believe he was an author and he wrote Soylent Green. He just sounded like a businessman turned philanthropist because he didn't want the government to get his money. All right, early life. Born 1873, 6 of 8 children. Born to James W. Anderson and his wife, Ellen Dunaway. Private W.J. Anderson had enlisted in Confederate States Army. Well, he didn't have a good go of it then, but had been captured in March 1864. Returned to visit his young family in McNairy County, south of Jackson. Then survived Camp Chase near Columbus, Ohio, in part because his uncle, James M. Anderson of Glasgow, had traveled to Washington, D.C. to secure his release. After the war, the elder Anderson founded the First National Bank of Jackson. Although his formal schooling stopped after the 8th grade, M.D., as the boy was often called, worked for his father at the bank. Oh, so he came from wealth. All right, where he learned about finance and prepared for his later business success. Monroe's older brother, Frank, had already tried working in the bank but found the routine too boring. Blessed with charisma, magnetic personality, and apparently fierce desire for action, Frank had already decided he wanted to go into cotton trading. That doesn't sound all that much exciting. About the same time, he met Burdine Clayton, who just moved to Jackson. Her family, father, Thomas Monroe Clayton, mother, brothers. Not only did Frank and Burdine fall in love and marry, but Will and Frank became best friends. Who's Will? Who's Frank? Will. God, there's so many damn names. Jessup, Jebediah, Bobby, James, Ratford, Ratcliffe, Heathcliff, Huxtable, Dunaway, James Missisrope. Monroe. Is that the guy I'm talking? Okay, Monroe. Monroe, Frank, and the brother-in-law scrapped up $9,000, went to Oklahoma City, where there was an ample source of cotton. They launched their dream business, which became Anderson Clayton. Was still working in New York, American Cotton Company. Will had also worked at the same company. Between them, had learned about international banking, establishing shipping networks. All right, they're working. It just came from wealth so far. Hurricane 1900 wiped out Galveston. Entrepreneurs in Houston stepped up to fill the vacuum. The Anderson-Clayton partners decided that Monroe should go to Houston and study the opportunities for the firm. He agreed to go in 1907, moved in a downtown hotel. Soon ran office space. Anderson, boo. So he didn't go to college. Sounds good to me. He just worked. Any other names? Occupation, baker, kind of philanthropist. How did he die? Eating lunch, the Majestic Grill, some business. One of his arms went numb, rushed back to his hotel. Physically said it, went to nurses, moderate condition. Diagnosed for a stroke, remained in the hospital for a month, but died at 66. Okay. I don't know. He was born into wealth. That's it. Then he worked until he died. He has real world working experience, entrepreneurship. And yeah, I mean, the only thing he's got 1 point against him. Would I have liked to have beer with the guy? Yeah, I would. Should he have run for office? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely should ran for office. It's one of those few rare people that come from, and he even sound like come from wealth. It's not like his old man made him work too. I mean, it's possible to come from wealth and not be a complete douchebag, but usually not. I mean, just look at everyone in Congress pretty much. So there we go. Yeah. All right, that's it. Any comments? No comments. No one cares about the Clarey tests. All right, see you guys later. Toodles.